For those of you charged with a crime here in Central Florida, you are going to be set for an arraignment. And we've done other videos about what an arraignment is, but it's like your first court date. And it's just the date where they are going to tell you, these are your charges. You have a right to an attorney. And how do you plead? You want to plead to this right now, or you want to plead not guilty and not deal with it? But I want to give you a few quirky things about arraignments because a lot of you have never been to an arraignment before, and I need to prep you on what to do at an arraignment. God forbid you don't get an attorney. And really what you need to do is get an attorney before you go to arraignment. But let's pretend that you didn't, because if you have an attorney, you won't go to arraignment. But let's pretend you didn't. I'm gonna prepare you for arraignment. First thing I wanna tell you is this: dress appropriately, okay? Please, folks, you are not going to a beach bar. You are not going to a concert. You are not going to a nightclub. Some of you only own clubwear. I'm sorry, I understand that, I get it, but you're gonna need to dress like you're going to church, number one. Some judges will appreciate it, some will ignore it, I get that. But that's your first thing, dress appropriately. Number two, you've got to arrive at your arraignment a little early. You will find that there is a warrant for your arrest if you don't arrive on time, sometimes. And some of the judges will simply arrest you right there when you show up late. Most won't, but let's not take that chance, folks. I'm telling you, the entry to, say, the Orange County Courthouse, which is right there, all right? I'm right next to the Orange County Courthouse. It's like an airport security and airport lines. It took one of my clients over an hour to get into the courthouse the other day. It took her so long, and she saw there was another hour to go, and she was gonna be super late. She threw up $100 bill and got to the front of the line, swapped places with somebody for $100. The wait is real. That's a really long wait, like something was going wrong there, but I'm just warning you in advance. Another thing I need to tell you about when it comes to arraignments is sometimes the judge isn't there, all right? You know, I bought some tickets to some stadium concerts before, and you end up like watching the show on the screen. You might watch your arraignment on the screen because the judge might not show up, and the judge might just be on a screen. However they do it, it's cool. You show up at the podium. I suggest that you plead not guilty. The reason I say you should plead not guilty is because you don't have an attorney. You haven't talked to an attorney. Your only alternative is to plead guilty and not know what's going to happen and not know anything about the case. Oh my goodness. Please, please don't. You don't know who you're dealing with sometimes. We had a judge in Lake County, and on every driving while license suspended, every one of them was a minimum of 30 days jail. You don't know how many calls I got from people that just thought they were gonna plead to a driving while license suspended, and then the family's like, he's in jail for the next 30 days. I'm like, no joke, of course. It was that judge. She gives everybody 30 days. I know this, but y'all don't know what this judge is gonna do. Consult with an attorney. Don't go in there and enter a plea. They will give you an attorney in arraignment, by the way. If you can't afford one, that's where you're gonna get your public defender. Another thing that you need to think about when it comes to arraignments is these can be cattle calls. Some judges spread out their arraignments, but some judges clump them on one morning, and there's a line out the door, folks. Like, it is standing room only, and it is what we call a rocket docket, okay? So it is next case, next case, next case. Miss Jones, you are charged with driving under the influence. Why don't you have an attorney? Well, I haven't called. Do you need a public defender? Well, I think I need a public defender. Go fill out the financial affidavit, and an hour from now, I'll call you back up and we'll see if you qualify for a public defender. How do you plead to this charge? I plead not guilty, I plead guilty. Sir or ma'am, if you plead guilty, you do understand I can send you to jail. I can give you a year of probation. I can do all that. Knowing that, do you still want to enter a guilty plea? Well, I guess not, blah, blah, blah. All these are the kind of conversations that are gonna go on at an arraignment, and it is going to move fast. It is a cattle call. It is a rocket docket. So just be ready. And that's why I gave you that little lecture up front, like be early. Now, I say be early, but some of you, your last name ends in XYZ, and 3 hours later, your name could get called. You'd be like, John, why was I early and I just wait around for 3 hours? I know. It's like Murphy's Law, and nobody shoots backwards, right? Everybody goes A to Z. There used to be a judge or two that would start at Z, but I haven't seen that in years. So folks, if you really want to avoid the chaos of an arraignment, I highly recommend you get an attorney on your side, in your corner, protecting your rights and your future, because we will waive that arraignment. You will not be required to go to that court date. So those are some of the quirks that happen at arraignments. And if you're facing something like this in Central Florida, this is good news. I practice here. I've been defending cases for over 30 years here in Central Florida. I hope that you'll give me a call because I know it can help you out. If not, you can help me out. There's little hearts, little thumbs up, little subscribes, little follows, all these little things. They might not seem like a big deal to you, but they help us get the word out and spread the knowledge. So thank you for watching. I appreciate your time.